people say, oh, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start. That's why we have Nicole Garden here from Heritage Law. Welcome.
Thank you.
How do we inspire people to take care of their business when it comes to their will? Because so many people say, it scares me. I don't want to tempt fate. I don't want to go there. It's almost like superstitious.
Well, $1 trillion of wealth is estimated to transfer in the next 20 years. And the statistics say that half of Canadians have no will at all.
What happens to the money if you don't will it to somebody, or your property in general? What happens if...
So you have a will, you have a legislated will.
Oh, okay.
So under the Wills, Estates and Succession Act of British Columbia, which actually just came into force March 31st, 2015, you have a will that the government decides who gets your money, not you.
And what most often happens in that regard?
Well, it's interestingly, people often think their spouse gets their estate, but that's not the case. If you have a spouse, you have the same children, your spouse gets the first $300,000, and then the balance is split 50-50 between your children and your spouse. If your children are different, so you had an earlier relationship, your spouse gets the first $150,000, and then the balance is split 50-50.
Interesting stuff. Okay, so now if somebody who, let's say, you're in your mid-30s and you rent your apartment, you don't have any kids, you don't have a significant other, you don't have a will, is it just, you just leave it because the government can decide, or should you be putting something together and going to a notary?
You should put something together and go see a notary or a lawyer. The first reason is if you have nothing planned, you're going to leave a stressful, expensive situation for your family. The other thing is, for young people, a will is important, but an enduring power of attorney is also very important. So,
explain an enduring power of attorney.
So if you become incapable, so if you're sick or have an accident, somebody can pay your bills, file your tax return, apply for benefits. It's actually quite expensive and onerous to resolve that if you don't have basic planning documents.
Okay, so basic planning and documents, property, money, obvious, but also people talking now about do not resuscitate. If you are incapable of it, how long do you want to be kept alive on life support? That's something that would be in your will as well.
So a will governs if you pass away. So that's one part of estate planning. The other part is incapacity planning. So the enduring power of attorney is for finances. For health care, it's a document called a representation agreement.
So there are more complicated items that come into play here as the onion is pulled back. If you were giving primary make-a-will week advice, what's the first thing that we should do if we don't have a will?
The first thing is at least have basic documents in place. It's not expensive at all to get it done.
Ballpark?
And I think if you went to a notary and you had a relatively basic estate plan, you could probably get it done for a few $100s.
Right.
And the alternative is an expensive, stressful, drawn-out experience for your family. And the other thing is, we all work really hard. Every cent that you've ever made and saved is going to be distributed under this document. It makes sense to have an investment to make sure it's done properly. It's the legacy that you leave. Or
you can end up paying it, the majority of it out, as opposed to supporting your family or helping your family with the care that you might need.
Well, the assets might go to someone completely different than who you intended, so that's a downside.
That would be an unfortunate downside, yes.
And you will have significant delay and expense and stress for your family.
Well, we appreciate the advice. It's enlightening, and like I said, it's a scary topic for many, but certainly something that we all need to get on top of, even though that new legislation has just come into play.
That's right.
Last month. Good to know, Nicole. Thank you for being here. BCHeritageLaw.com is where you can find more advice from Nicole, and also check out our website. We'll put all the information there as well.